See him.
The stream is live. I'm gonna record this.
I just got new glasses too.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right, let's call our meeting to order and stand for the pledge, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, with liberty and justice for all.
Picked up there.
Trying to fit up the round.
Damn.
Okay, our JCLDC loan review meeting for Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021 is in session. We've done the pledge, and I think we have a couple of guests to speak on behalf of Clayton Yacht Club. We have a draft resolution and a request for this is a micro loan or revolving loan? This is a revolving loan, $20,000, Clayton Yacht Club, to use for repairs that have previously been completed under the Red Grant program due to the high water flooding of 2019-2020. And it is recommended by staff, and we'll go into that now. So I think, Kelly, you're representing Clayton Yacht Club, correct?
Well, the two of us are representing. Justin Taylor is here.
Okay, Justin as well.
Yep, and I'm the treasurer, and Justin is vice commodore.
Okay. I guess if you would like to, it's not mandatory, but if you'd like to walk through what you're requesting, what the funds are being used for, and or have been used for, it's your choice. Otherwise, we can just go through the discussion.
That's fine. I would let you go through that yourself, and if there are any questions, Justin and I would be happy to answer it.
Okay, and Justin, you have nothing you want to add either?
The purpose of the loan is to support the repairs, but also as required by the Ready Grant funding for the 5% local match. And I believe that is somehow being calculated based on the waiver of fees or some component reduction in interest, so that we meet our goal of $4,495.
Very good. Yes, you're correct. We have some method and means to make that 5% local match included in this whole package. Okay. So our loan review committee is myself, John Jennings, and Dave Converse, who's on the left in the foreground in the black shirt. For those of you that don't know him.
And Christine.
And we have some
Christine's right here.
staff from the rest of the board. So John or Dave, anything in here worthy of discussion and notation? It looks like a fairly complete package and fairly request.
Rob, this is the LDC, so Chris Powers is also on the
Oh,
committee.
sorry, Chris. John?
Yeah, she's right here. Oh, she's right here.
She's in the room.
In the small.
Okay, in person.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Chris.
Thanks, Rob.
Can I hear Rob Aiken too then?
Yeah, he's here.
Okay, well, sorry, I can barely make people out in the camera. Apologize. Yeah, it is, any of the
Those field
LDC
cameras like on the football field.
have anything to further discuss in here, in this loan application?
I don't see anything. I just had a question. Just going down through the information there, does the club loan out loans to members or something? It looks like some of them are loans to.
It's actually loans from members.
Okay.
About 5 years ago, the members came together to fund the repair of the main structure.
Okay.
Not the foundation, unfortunately.
I just have one.
My only suggestion in the resolution itself is in the preamble, the first whereas is used for completed repairs, if there are completed repairs, then I would maybe add under the Ready Grant program or damage from be a little bit more specific.
What were you gonna say, Chris?
I just have one question regarding seasonal payments. Do we have the ability to offer those, Lyle?
You can.
Are seasonal payments anything that the yacht club will be interested in?
While we're only operational for the season, we generally plan for monthly payments. So it's really, it's fine to have monthly payments
Okay.
throughout the year.
Thank you. I didn't overlook Ken Berto, he's not in the room with us.
No.
Okay, it is very hard to see people, I apologize.
Greg Gardner joined us.
Okay. Is there any other discussion or any objection to some suggested language that I offered?
No,
I don't see anything, no.
Okay, do we have a motion to move this to the full board for adoption of the resolution?
I'll make that motion, Chris.
Okay, a second?
Second, John.
Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, so we'll move this to the full board. Our hearing is 9th of July. We've added some new language in the first whereas clause used for completion repairs under the Ready Grant program for damage, and then continue on as it was written. That's it. You got to see sausage name.
Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. So you're welcome to attend the full board hearing. You'll probably see your father's library discussion on July 9th for the adoption of this. That's the board that actually allows the fund to be released. So
nice to see you, Justin. I'll see you on the river.
thank you, guys. We concluded that matter.
Yes,
The next
yes.
matter, we
Okay.
have Destiny LLC. There is on page 23 of your packet, and then there's also a more confidential email on 24/25, and then a staff request on page 22. So within this packet, due to various changes in the business environment, there is about $80,000 due left at fire loan approved to LCO Destiny. It would have been paid off somewhere in this year, but due to various extensions that our board has offered all companies, it's not paid off yet. And there's a request to re-amortize it with a reduced monthly payment. Ms. Weber, the owner of Timeless Frames, has requested approximately $2,000 a month, down from the $11,000 some odd dollars. So it would have been paid off. I think Lyle, was it balloon in July of this year, or is it July next year?
This year.
This year.
It was, yeah.
Okay, I thought it was this year. Couldn't really track that down. So there's $88,673.83 left, prior to any interest applied, that may not be in that number. The payment was $11,000, and the request is to re-amortize it to around a $2,000 a month payment. A question I have before we start discussion is, should we amortize it for 1 year, then balloon it again versus trying to go for a longer period? Because in the more confidential memo of 24 and 25, it indicates that there's a shorter time frame before recovery and presumably payment of the loan. And prior to this, we were promised to be paid off when the tax return was going to be paid. So I'd like to see a shorter sunset date. We can always revisit this again, in my opinion, versus just amortizing it for 5 or 7 years and kicking the can down the road. So I throw that out for the team to discuss.
And actually, I would suggest that you consider that, given that she's looking at a comeback, that business is improving, that we look at maybe doing this for a shorter period of time, then revisit, either balloon it or revisit, looking at some increase in payment
Yeah.
next
I'm
year.
suggesting a year, because I think it's a fair amount for businesses to recover, and, her own memo suggests less than a
Yeah.
year for, reasonable recovery.
The other thing I asked her since, is that the one building is up for sale because they're consolidating into the other building they own.
Mhm.
Once she sells that building, she'd be out of debt and have a cash cushion to pay off. So we may want to make that a part of the, approving this contingent on if she sells the building, that she immediately pay off the,
Yeah, it's another reason why I suggest a year for a balloon, so that if her business environment changes to the positive, we don't want to be a bank. I mean, there's banks that are banks, and it's nice to collect a small amount of interest, but I think we want the loan paid off so we can redeploy these funds to other, businesses wanting to utilize them for the purpose that we have the funds.
Well, this resolution really kind of talks to just the $2,000 a month, isn't it? Basically.
It does, and I guess I'm only suggesting, John, is that we would change the wording that Lyle has to come up with an amortization schedule, but it would be $2,000 a month for the next 12 months, and then balloon the full payment. So we're kind of, because this should have been paid off next month. So we'll kind of give my suggestion, we consider a 1-year extension, lower the payment, so we're getting some good, goodwill. Both parties are still, the spirit of the original intent is being paid off, but helping your business environment. But as Dave said, if business turns around and the building's sold, we should not be a bank. We shouldn't amortize this out for 5 years and then get the minimum amount of funds, because I think we would rather redeploy these to new companies wishing to utilize the money we have. That's my opinion. I'm one of 5.
I would agree, we should put some sort of timeline in this 2,000 a month, whether it's 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, whatever the timeline is, so we have that stated in the resolution.
So we do 2,000 a month for 1 year and with a balloon due, in July of 22.
Yeah, I mean, we just kick it down. Christine, any objection or comment to that?
No, I agree totally. That was my thought as well.
Okay, good. Well, we all think alike. That's scary.
I'll move that to the full board if that's what we want to do.
Yeah, I was gonna ask for a motion with some amended language. So Dave, you're making that motion?
I am.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second, yeah.
Okay, John, second. All in favor with amended language? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Dave and or Lyle, I think we can just leave to you with the discussion. You can put the proper language in here to the full board about ballooning it in a year.
Yep.
And Lyle, for the full board, you'll actually present an amortization schedule.
We can do that, yes.
Okay, it probably would be helpful. When we submit this, so it shows that we're in approximately a year. Okay. So that's the fourth order of business on our agenda. Any other or new business for the LDC?
I do.
Please go ahead.
I'd like to propose that we do a $2,000 sponsorship for the Jefferson County Fair. And with that, what they'll do is they're gonna market our video and our marketing information like that too, so it'll be part of our marketing. And it'll also help the Jefferson County Ag Society.
Very good. That's a great suggestion. Would it be direct from the LDC, not one of the sub-agencies, like you mentioned, ag, so it's gonna be the corporation as a whole?
It most likely come out of our marketing budget, correct?
Okay. Any other discussion from LDC members?
It's great to have it back.
I'll make a motion to move that suggestion along.
Perfect.
I'll second.
Second, okay. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. And, I guess for clarity, Dave, we're asking for this to go to the full board, or do we have power to actually take it out of our marketing budget directly? I should have asked.
Now,
We can do it out of the marketing budget, we don't need to go, yeah.
Okay, all right, I should have asked that question, we were actually involved in to just go ahead and do it, or if it's gonna show up on the board agenda.
But it's good to know you're comfortable with that, so.
Okay, no, I mean, we're comfortable with that. Any other business or new business? Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn the LDC loan review?
So moved.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
Second, I think you got two there. All in favor, aye?
aye.
Okay. LDC loan reviews adjourned. Let's open, we've already done our pledge, we will open the IDA loan review.
It's not 8:30.
Hearing,
Is it?
done our
Yeah,
pledge,
Oh, no, it's not.
and we have one matter of business before us, standard.
He's probably gonna join at 8:30.
As requested, a microphone.
The one on the agenda.
No, page 3 of your packet. We're looking for $20,000, 5% interest rate, 5-year implementation, very good tradition of the business. There is a staff recommendation, staff commentary. I think, Lyle, if you wanted to go through, you put a few bullet notes on the bottom, you can kind of highlight what drew your attention to make some of those comments.
Rob, Joy did the write-up on this and has been handling it, so I'm going to let her comment.
You gotta start putting names on stuff.
I don't like to sign anything. Well, actually, Justin was going to join us, but,
I'm calling you, so you can have that.
oh, okay. Dave's gonna call him.
We'll wait a moment.
Well, I can go ahead and give a little bit. We do have a commitment letter from Watertown Savings Bank. So it looks pretty positive on that end. We recommend contingent on bank financing anyway. Ours would be just a small portion of what they need. They're not quite sure about the projections seemed a little bit large, but we still do believe that this would be a business that would be quite financially sound for the community. So it would be a second position lien on the assets of the organization and the personal guarantee of Justin Poyer. And I don't know.
It's a unique service that he is the only one in this area we believe that is performing this service.
That seems pretty unique, yeah.
Yeah. And the zero cost of goods sold is something that caught our attention. But in discussing it with him, he is actually remanufacturing existing parts for automobiles. So he's going to have very little cost of goods sold.
Really just direct labor and equipment, right?
That it appears to be, yes.
Yeah. Okay. It also, I draw attention, the applicant is putting in 2.5 times the amount of contribution to the request of the microloan, and the microloan is under 10% of the bank loan, so there's a lot of outside funding. As Joyce said, we're only 7% of the total cost, so it fits very nicely in the microloan segment. I think there were 2 additional positions in 1 year. Is the intention, the owner, Justin, excuse me, would be the sole employee and then bring on 2 additional people, or I was a little confused with that?
Yes, that's how he's gonna start himself, and then he would be bringing on additional machinist.
Okay. It looks like he secured a location that was listed up in his business plan with, I'm assuming, the loan for both the location plus the various equipment.
Yes. That's correct.
Okay. Dave, are we waiting on Justin or somebody was going to call him?
I did call him, he said he's gonna hop on, so,
Okay.
we're on schedule, but if I wait for him,
We'll wait.
I-
John or Dave Converse, anything to add, draw attention to, or?
Did we know where the building?
I mean, I know Justin, you know, from this business he had up here, I mean, I know he's got a very good work ethic and stuff, I mean, he's very much a go-getter.
be on Minkler Road in town center.
Okay.
Did you have some
Yeah,
specific parts?
Justin was talking to me today.
Sounds like
That's-
very, very.
that's his
Every time we say-
home address though,
Yeah.
Dave.
David,
Dave, that's his home address.
Oh,
I
his home
believe
address.
it's on Route 11,
At Talcott Falls.
Talcott Falls, that building. that's
Oh,
right
okay,
by
all right,
Falls.
okay. There's a building on Talcott Falls, used to be a flooring place in there now, so you're heading down Route 11 before you get to Talcott Falls, it kind of sits up on the hill a little bit on the left. That's where the business is gonna be, so.
Is that the same building that there's like recycling on one side of it?
No, I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
so.
I think it's an
It's
empty
a different
building.
building, okay, because there's another big block building on Route 11, that I think part of it's recycling, part of it used to be automotive.
Yeah.
Repairs or sales, I didn't know which part of the building.
While we wait for him, I can just fill you in on a couple other, two items on other business, if you like.
Go ahead.
Sure. Two, we've been, Harry, Atchison was in town, Monday, Tuesday, so Lyle, Marshall and I were meeting with him and, his folks. So he's working on getting some new numbers for us, and so he's gonna need to resubmit, so he submitted the original pilot application under Conval Energy. He's actually created a subsidiary, Conval Manufacturing, which will be the, applicant for the pilot, so we're gonna need a new application with a new name and the new numbers, under Conval Manufacturing. We're gonna be talking to Justin later today to kind of go over the land development agreement, finalize that. That would be with Conval Energy still. So, assuming our next board meeting is not till July 9th, so we've got some time. The project hasn't changed other than what some of the numbers and the size, will be. So I'm asking if you're comfortable, if we bring the new pilot application directly to the board, the updated application with the new company and new numbers, bring that July 9th rather than try to wait for the next committee meeting.
Absolutely.
Okay. Justin, any comment on that? Does that work for you?
You know, what I would recommend is that we get the LDA finalized with Harry. And at the same time, he's able to submit an application that reflects his first phase, the first manufacturing facility, and in enough detail that we can respond to it.
Right.
Both of those would come to the board at the same time.
That's what I'm anticipating. We'll have that, hopefully we should have that finalized after you and I talk and we get back to them, so.
Yeah, that's right. The board's gonna have to review and approve the LDA and all events, and it's gonna have to have enough detail in it that, sufficient to describe the first phase, so we know, what he's committing to and what's going to be placed through local site plan and seeker reviews, and what he's gonna be obligated to get financed in order to exercise the option. And those details are really sussed out in an application in the normal course. So in a perfect world, they come to us at the same time, and if these things are ready before July 9th, that's great. And it takes a little bit more time than, maybe perhaps later July or the August cycle.
Hey, David,
Yes,
can you remind me, where does the water source come from for the airport?
Town of Hounsfield.
Town Hounsfield, okay, so that'd be the site as well.
And we've got water at the curb now, so.
And then, but there's no sewer.
No, so he'd have to do an on-site system until the town gets sewer in place. On-site treatment. The other update I'll share with you quickly is that they did complete the remediation testing at the call center building, 146 Arsenal. They did the various levels of scarification. We should have the test results back on Friday. We're hoping, one concern he has, they may be tricky. He said, it's hard to see if, when you look at the cement, if it got down, as deep as they hoped it would, the extraction fluid. But we'll see when you do the testing. But he said also, as long as we've got nothing below the half-inch level, we may be able to get by with just, half-inch scarification and not doing the extraction fluid. The extraction fluid isn't expensive. Not having to do that would save some time, but the bigger concern is that it does leave quite a strong odor in the building for quite a while.
Dave, did you ever speak with Dave? Did you ever speak with the county on the use of their ERP funds?
Bob's supposed to get back to me about getting a meeting on that soon.
As long as you,
Yeah.
I spoke with a couple legislators just asking a few
Yeah.
questions, and just seeing the viability of that. Apparently those could possibly be deployed, so.
Yeah, Neil, I'll do a full, I just talked to him yesterday. I'll do a full summary to the rest of the board via email, but I'm also looking at National Grid. I'm speaking with them. They have a brownfield remediation program that will fund 25% up to $300,000. So if we end up being a $2 million project, we could basically break it into two phases. Do 300,000 and 200,000, so that can help offset some of the costs as well.
All right.
So that sounds like a pretty
Okay.
easy application to put in.
Dave, did they remove a section of the concrete as well?
Yes, yeah, they did remove a section of the concrete. He said they ran into, when you got down about 1.5 inches, there was, they hit some mesh in some spots, there was a metal mesh in there between them. So he said the concrete below stayed intact fine, it removed easily enough, but he's not sure it's gonna be a scalable approach if we have to do that for the whole.
Small spot.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Did, Justin Poirier just join by phone?
Yes, I did.
Okay, hi, my name's Rob Eliasso. So you're in session, we're recording, we're in the Jefferson County Industrial Development Loan Review Committee. So we're reviewing your application. John Jennings and Dave Converse are also on the Loan Review Committee. The purpose of this is to review your application, asking questions, and if we approve it, it goes to the full board, and then they're the ones who actually release the funds on July 9th, if it's approved. So I guess it's typical to ask the applicant if they want to walk us through any of the uses of the funds, or the business plan, or anything you wish to highlight. It's not mandatory, but if you wish to speak, please do so.
Well, just a quick recap. I'm buying out a current business, and we're doing it as a startup because of the fact that he's been running everything cash for the last 10 years and not claiming any of it. So I'm paying tax returns to support the business. So we're doing it as a startup, but it is a currently operating business. He's been there for, 48, 49 years. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Watertown Mill Street, standard machine, went through sales, been there forever. So I'm buying him out. He leases a space over on Mill Street. I want to purchase a building and I want to lease the space, and actually that space will no longer be available as soon as the switch is hands anyways. So I'm going to purchase a building over on Route 11 in Adams Center, move all the equipment over there. The usage of funds for this is going to be any collateral gap I may have. We don't have the appraisal back in the building yet. I don't see it being an issue, but I didn't want to be caught with, an issue. So I said, let's get at least a small loan for any collateral gap we may have, and then anything left over will be put into funds for startup, operating costs immediately. I'm going to need a few things, just stuff like that, nothing crazy or major, but if there's any direct questions you guys have about any of it, I'd love to try and answer them for you.
Con or Dave or anyone else, any questions, suggestions?
So you're buying all the machine equipment for machining motors and stuff like that, then Justin, from?
It's correct, yeah. They remount a lot of cylinder heads, they do a lot of farm work, a lot of tractor cylinder heads, engines, stuff of that nature, a lot of press work. They do flywheel resurfacing, cylinder head resurfacing, boring, homing, all stuff like that. And I'm purchasing every piece of equipment he has, and actually plus a couple of new pieces of equipment as well.
The equipment that you're purchasing is currently located at Mill Street, and you just need to move it and reset it up in a new location?
Correct, yep. So I'm gonna have a guy, Marty, come in, which is their equipment distributor, who has sold them most of the equipment they have. He's also serviced it, repaired it, all that, so he's very familiar with the equipment. He's gonna come in, there's a few pieces of equipment he has to actually take apart, put in some shims and wedges and stops and stuff that's actually delicate for the move that has to be secured. Get everything moved with me, get everything on the other end, set it up, go through, clean it, maintain anything that needs any preventative maintenance, recalibrate everything, and then get everything set up on the other side.
Okay, and the new building, the areas that we plan to locate the equipment have adequate foundations to resist all the vibration and loads and things of that nature that the equipment might impose?
Yep, the entire building's concrete, block walls, concrete floor. It's extremely solid, 5,000 square feet, plenty of room. It's got all the electrical requirements I need. I actually was there with my electrician last night, making sure that we weren't gonna come into any issues when we do the move, so that's all taken care of. Other than that, the equipment actually is pretty quiet, not a lot of vibration, not a lot of movement. Good.
Okay. Dave Converse and John, anything else to ask?
Justin, do you have any contracts that come with the business or anything like that, or are you gonna have to just start from scratch?
Well, I am getting into complete customer list. Like I said, they are extremely busy. I mean, Mark Truesdell, which is Lynn's son, he is coming with me. He's been running that shop for the last 20 years on his own. So he turns away a lot of work. And there isn't another machine shop. You'd have to go up the other side of Krogan and get Rogies, or you'd have to go all the way down south to Syracuse. There's a machine shop down there, but there isn't another one in this immediate area at all. So he's screaming busy. He turns down work daily. So as far as a legit contract, a signed, an absolute contract, no, but he has a customer base that's so vast and so busy as it is that I should never have an issue staying busy.
Okay.
Are you providing some of the similar services that Lewis and Clinch used to offer?
I'm sorry, I'm kind of echoing there.
Are you providing some similar services that Lewis and Clinch used to offer?
Where are they? I'm not familiar.
It's where Garland City is now.
There used to be a machine shop where the Garland City Brewery is, Lewis and Clinch, and they had what's the other name they went by too? The W.
I guess I'm not familiar with them. I didn't even
Williams
realize they were there. Are they a machine shop in the sense where they're actually milling parts, or are they just?
They did a lot of shafts, I know that.
They did a lot of larger type stuff, like shafts for industrial. They're not in existence anymore, but they were located there at one point.
Well, the only other one.
I gotcha. If they're doing shafts and cylinder work, I would think that probably Empire Machine in Adams Center would be picking up most of that. They do a lot of shaft work, cylinder work, hydraulic stuff like that, and they have a machine shop too, but just not the same anything that I'm doing.
Yeah, they used to service the paper mills pretty heavily, and then they also were in industrial boiler repairers and stuff like that.
I think them and Carthage Machine also, they do a lot of paper mill stuff. It's more industrial.
Okay.
Less automotive.
Yeah, that's definitely not anything that's in my wheelhouse at all. I'm gonna be more automotive industry, farm industry, stuff like that. Smaller, nothing big industrial, nothing I would ever get into, I wouldn't think.
Does some of the client base that the business currently serves get referred from, say, Casanova Equipment or the car dealers, or do they do some of the stuff?
Actually, yes. We do a ton of business with the car dealers on the strip down in Adams, Fusillo, Caprera, all the car dealerships, honestly, in the Tri-County area. And then, places like CAD's Equipment, Tracy Road Equipment, anything like that. If they had a cylinder heads or anything need to be remanned, yes, they would come to us.
So you're in a good location then in Adams Center. With that.
Yeah, it's actually like 7.3 miles from the current location, so it's not terribly far, and it's right on 11, so it definitely gets a ton of exposure.
Yeah. David, John, anything else?
I don't have anything.
Do we have a motion to move this to the full board for consideration?
Yeah, I make a motion to move it to the board.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, aye? Aye. Okay, so Justin, our full board meeting is July 9th. And they'll consider this resolution. They're the ones that actually approved the release of the funds. So we're just a review agency. We're committee, we're actually all members of the IDA as well, but we're a committee that used these loan applications prior to the board. So, thank you. You made the first step, no big deal. And I'm sure if you have questions, you can speak with the staff and they can get you the date and the time if you feel so you want to make a presentation to the full board. And again, it's not mandatory, but some people decide to listen in or be available in case there's questions.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
You
All
know,
right.
have a safe
You
day.
guys have a good day.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
On you. We went through a lot of other and unfinished business, so is there anything else?
I will just tell you, we've been discussing with Justin amongst the team here on updating in our pilot application, particularly when we're dealing with solar project. We talked about the fact that we have a page on there where they break out the budget costs. Peggy actually drafted up based on our discussion the other day. We'll get this out to you for review, but a new page specific to solar projects, so include some of the specific costs that they deal with to help in the review and evaluation of those applications.
Perfect.
So we'll get that out to you by email here.
The only thing I subscribe to a lot of different periodicals and stuff to maintain ideas of what's going on in the marketplace throughout the world. You brought up Conval and the country of India. So Conval is looking to expand to be a 50 megawatt manufacturing facility. That's what they hope to get. I think that's their end result, if I recall. The country of India is subsidizing 1,000 megawatts of solar manufacturing. So just there's a lot of interest right now in other countries to manufacture. And I know Harry's in a unique situation where he's going to fund his own supply chain. But if his businesses are buying products, they may end up having to buy products from the lowest cost option. So I throw that out there. That's happening currently. There's RFPs out for 1,000 megawatts of manufacturing in the country of India for advanced solar panels. And I hope it doesn't really upset what we're trying to do here in Jefferson County, but I throw it out. The rest of the world is trying to make a buck as well.
Yep, he's actually, when we get to see the new application, he's actually looking at a much larger facility now to start with.
Good. So, and I realize he's applying himself. So there's some advantages to have, have your own control of your own supply chain. But I throw it out there in the sense that China seems to be less favorable. And because China is less favorable a supply chain, India has stepped up to be a low-cost option. And so I can forward anybody the article.
I'd be interested in seeing that still, Rob, if you want to send that, please. If you could send that, that'd be great. I'd like to see it.
Yeah, I'll send it.
And just to be clear, also, the line that he's purchasing is a 700 megawatt line. And,
Okay,
and
I for some reason recall 50 in our earlier.
That was his original plan,
yeah.
Okay, so if he's doing, so India is looking at 1,000 megawatt, I think they're, it's not one location, but the government's actually suggesting they'll subsidize it, which is kind of crazy, but I guess that's what happens. I'll send that to you, Dave, and then you can distribute it as you wish. That was it, just a tidbit going on in the world. And any other or unfinished business before we ask for adjournment? Nope. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
The motion we adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Yes.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right, everybody have a safe and great day.
Thank you, Rod.
The recording has stopped.
So they found
We went
mesh.
to the hotel and had dinner Sunday night.
Uh-huh.
Sat out.